Okay, here's how to create a quiz on Brightspace. Go up here under Assessments down to Quizzes. Here's the quizzes I already have in my course. These quizzes all actually were brought over from the Moodle version of the course that I taught last summer. But if you want to have a new quiz, obviously click on New Quiz at the top. Give it a name. Call it Quiz D. Here you can add which category it falls in terms of quizzes or tests or whatever for your grade book, and then start adding questions. Click on Add or Edit Questions. So you can do one of two things. Import, if you already have a question library, you would just click on Browse Question Library, and that's where you can click on it to reuse questions you've used before. But if this is your first time teaching the course online, you probably don't have that, so you would click Add over here, add a new question, click multiple choice just to demonstrate. Okay, and it will come up and you'll type in the question you want. Something out of biblical studies. Etc. Then you need to click the correct answer so it'll know which one to give credit for. Randomize answers for each student. So in other words, if you want the order of the answers possibilities to be randomized, obviously that's what you would click on. Okay, then click on Save. Okay, and then you can add another question. Etc. Click on the correct one. Okay, now let's go back to the top and click back to Settings. We'll see what some of those are. And here's the initial page that you started on. This is where we had clicked Add or Edit Questions to begin with. And then this is going to define some of the other parameters of the quiz and how it's displayed to the students and so forth, how it's graded. You can fill this out first if you want, and then come back and add the questions. It's up to you. So here's where you could description or introduction. You can just put general directions for completing the quiz. I think where it says allow hints, there are some spots in that screen where we added the questions that allow you to put hints in, and this will determine whether you're allowed to use those. In terms of, this is your Properties tab, your Restrictions tab, then it's going to indicate when the quiz is due, when they can first have access to it, to start it and to end it. Release conditions. So this is where you would indicate, for instance, if you don't want them to have access to a quiz until they have completed a previous assignment or something like that, this is where you would enter that. Okay. I'm not sure what that is all about. Timing. Okay, so here's where you enter your time limit, recommended time limit, and it's recommended, obviously, if it's enforced. The quiz will cut off when you're done, after that amount of time has passed. That's kind of how I do most of my quizzes. Instead of trying to keep them honest and all that, I just give them a short amount of time to do a quiz so they don't have time to look up all the answers anyway. Then I tell them technically it's open book, but you won't have time to look for all the answers. Okay, and so those are the most important tabs you would look at or deal with. This is, click this box if you want them to be able to see it right after they finished. Okay. how many times they're allowed to try it. So I had my first quiz, just because they were getting used to the system. I used it mainly as a way for them to try to figure out how to use the quiz feature, and so I allowed them to have as many attempts at it as they wanted. Okay, I haven't used this yet at all. Submission views. Click on that. And so this is what they're going to see once they have submitted it. And once they've submitted it, do they get to see the questions? If you click yes, show which questions, show whether you want them to see, and so forth. Okay. Go back. Okay. And then once you have completed the quiz, completed making the quiz, there it should be available now, and all you would have to do is add it to one of your units or your modules. Go back and show you how to do that briefly. Click Content to go to the main course page. So if I wanted to add it to day 4, okay, go up, I would click Add Existing Quiz. Go down and find, this is the one I just did. Click on it, and it's now in your course for the students to access it. All right, let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks.